Hello, everyone. Welcome back to my Jaybird. This is game 77 of Battle of the Boxes. Remembering 1976 and then 1977 to bot 1900. No errors, no assistance, no help of any kind to beat this bot. And we're taking you back to 1977 right now. This one's only 37 moves. I'm in white. And it's called Nightbird. Knight moves, Knight's 91. Jaybird. Donna's Jaybird. Rook, Bishop, King, Crown, Castle. And let's see what this looks like. D3, D5, E3, E5, H3, D6, E2. My typical Jaybird opening here. After E2, C6, A3, G6, gotta defend, G3, E4. I get passive, D4, have to defend this way. After D4, E7, D2, I go into Knight's Bird. And like I said, move your pieces around the back. And like I say, there were similar games to this, but I'm much better than I was back then. So between the way he wasn't so great either. So between us both, I mean, still the games were still similar to the same way of moving the pieces around. After D2, F6, F1. Now that is your Knight's waiting. That's 9 moves on 1, 91 right here. After F1, A6, C3, D7, and D2 in the Jaybird since 1977. And here's your Jaybird. After D2, B7, and this here is my first creative opening that I've created and won with too. I'll mention that again. I'd mentioned on my last video. After B5, C2, and this, I'm calling this now when I stack the pieces like this. This would be normally the Donna's Bird with the bishop and the queen, but since the Jaybird's up, it's called Donna's Bird now. After C2, D8, F3, H5, I castle into the Rook Bishop. Right here's the Rook Bishop. King's Crown, Castle. And I know, matter of fact, now that was move 14, that I moved my pieces just like the last game in strange ways in the back, and he'd say, "Oh, look how you got your pieces," and then how the castle went, or it's close to similar games that we played back in 77. After castle, F5, I go E1. Now, most chess games always got mistakes and blunders. Main part is mistakes, and I never check these games to see what kind of mistakes this bot might be making, or what I'm making wrong. But everything looks defended. That's defended. That's defended twice. That's defended once. After E1, he goes E6. I move up F2. Now it's defended again. G6. D2. And we can almost say now you went into Donna's Nightbird, Jaybird. This could be a Knight's Queen, Nightbird, Jaybird. Okay, after that, after D2, E7, B3, and I bring these names to you because this is the way I used to play back in 77, and I think they should have names because this is my style and how I play, and with my openings that I've been trying to say to you now since this started here. So after B3, C8, F1, still everything's protected. He's not doing anything, and I think the program still don't know how to react to what is actually going on here. After F1, castle, G2, G7, E2, still everything's defended because that knight's, everything's still defended. After E2, D6, G1, C4. Still everything's defended. G4, now I push. G4 takes, G4 takes. Now he could have passed back here, and then I couldn't take, his bishop was there. I don't know what the reason why he would open that lane up, but after G4 takes, G4 takes. Now, I didn't take because I wanted this lane open. That's why I had a bishop for a pawn, and I didn't do it. Look, he went here. Or two pawns, or at least one, or whatever. I didn't want to clog the lane, so I went H3, then brought it back G2, because he opened up the lanes. I give up the pawns just to get those lanes opened up. After H5, G3, G4, H3, takes H3, takes H3, gives me my rook lift, A5, F5, and already we're at move 30, and the game's over in 37 moves. F6, take E7, takes E7, threaten the queen H4, D6, take the knight E7, E7 takes, H1, F6, and there's no stopping it now. There's no stopping it now. Now it's already sealed. After H2, C5, H8, G7, and there's game. Yeah, I think the thing on the program, because the way I moved my pieces in the back like this, it didn't know how to react, I don't think. Because I didn't really go forward. I stayed. This is more of a passive play. This is what I call passive. You see, into my Jaybirds, Knights waiting 91, Donna's Jaybird, Rook Bishop, King's Crown Castle. See, I didn't take nothing, or I didn't pass. I could have passed and then busted open like this, but his king was still here. So to me, it was like, well, I'm not going to do anything. This king's in the middle. He can walk that way. What's the purpose? The game goes on like this. Everything's defended down here. Then he castles. Then I put that bishop over here. And then the knight, not the reason for that, the rook's going to come over here. Clean up the back. Now I start the attack. Maybe I should have led with this pawn first, because he can't take, then push this pawn. I messed up. I was supposed to lead with this pawn first. This one here I was supposed to lead with. But I led with that one, and he helped me out anyway. That, you know. But I do him the favor back, but not really, because I wanted this lane open. There's nothing he can do. If he took it, then his king's pinned, the bishop's protecting the rook. And it worked out just fine like that. Look at that. It all fell in place after that. It would have been check, 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 and then the queen check, check. There would have been all kinds of checks going on. And this is like sealed in now. And there you have it. Thanks for stopping by, and we're going to have some more Battle of the Boxes.